Eva Santos paced the dimly lit corridor outside the Galactic Council chambers, her boots silent on the plush carpet that sprawled beneath the soaring archways. The murmurs of 100 alien dialects seeped through the massive doors, each syllable a stinging reminder of the Council's disdain for humans. Taking a deep breath, Eva paused, her hand hovering over the access panel. Inside, the chamber buzzed with anticipation. As she entered, the crowd's attention shifted, their gazes piercing through her resolve. She walked to her seat, feeling every eye in the room weighing her down. Today, they saw her as the embodiment of a frightened, inferior race, but she was determined to change that. Representative Santos, surprised to see you here after last session's commentary. A voice slithered beside her, coated with mock concern. It was Thalvoris, the delegate from Geranthos, whose remarks had sparked the controversy. Eva turned, her face calm. I wouldn't miss it for the universe, Delegate Thalvoris. Humans have never shied away from a challenge. The Geranthian scoffed, his 4 eyes narrowing. Yet, here you are, the only human bold enough to face us after we've seen your species' true colors. Not bold, just right, Eva retorted, her voice steady. And you'll see that soon enough. As she took her seat, whispers filled the air, the digital screens around the room flashing with snippets of interstellar news ridiculing Earth's supposedly timid stance in cosmic affairs. The session began with the usual formalities, but tension underpinned every spoken word and polite clap. The president of the council, a venerable Yoloan with skin shimmering like starlight, finally addressed the room. We gather today to discuss the escalating tensions in the Viridia system. And yet, our last session was overshadowed by concerns about one member species' alleged apprehensions towards conflict. Do we have any comments on this before we proceed? This was her moment. Eva stood, her voice projecting confidence. Yes, President Xylos, I have something to say. The room fell silent, hundreds of eyes fixed on her. It has come to my attention that humans are perceived as fearful of war. This accusation strikes at the heart of my species, misrepresenting our values and our history. Delegate Thalvoris stood, his tone derisive. Are you here to deny your species' reluctance to engage in necessary conflict for the sake of peace? Eva smiled slightly, her gaze unwavering. Not at all. I'm here to clarify what you perceive as reluctance is actually prudence. Humans assess, we deliberate, but most importantly, we understand the cost of war, something many here have forgotten. Murmurs swept through the chamber, some nods of agreement flickering among the sea of faces. Tell us, Representative Santos, President Xylos interjected. What proof do you offer of this, prudence as you call it? History, Eva replied. Human history is fraught with conflict, yes, but each war on our planet has taught us the value of peace. We've brokered ceasefires that ended decades of civil war on our own soil and extended that knowledge to assist negotiations on planets like Thesha 4 and Rigel 7. A skeptical hum echoed from a corner of the room. Words are wind, human. Show us evidence of your so-called peace efforts. That's exactly what I intend to do, Eva said. She tapped her device, and the screens around the room lit up with images and reports. Documented peace treaties facilitated by humans, humanitarian missions to war-torn planets, and testimonials from alien species praising human diplomats. Delegate Thalvoris hissed. Clever presentations, human. But do these not merely mask your species' inherent weakness? Your fear of taking real, decisive action? Eva's response was swift, her tone edged with steel. Is it weakness to strive for dialogue over destruction? We've seen the ruins of civilizations that chose war too hastily. We do not fear war, Delegate Thalvoris. We respect its consequences. Our decisive action, as you call it, is to prevent conflict from reaching the point of no return. The room buzzed, some delegates nodding in thoughtful agreement, others exchanging skeptical glances. And what of the Viridia system? A voice called out. What actions do you propose we take, if not military intervention? Eva nodded, prepared for this. I propose a summit. A gathering of all involved parties, mediated by neutral representatives. Humans will volunteer. We will share our experience in conflict resolution, offer our services to mediate discussions, and help draft proposals that lead to sustainable peace. President Xylos considered this, his gaze sweeping the room. A bold proposal, Representative Santos. This council will deliberate your suggestion. You've given us much to consider. As Eva sat, the chamber erupted into a cacophony of conversation. She had shifted the narrative, casting humanity not as fearful, but as a force for peace and diplomacy. The session adjourned with delegates clustering in groups, their discussions animated and intense. Eva knew she had made an impact, but the real work, turning her words into action, was just beginning. As she exited the chamber, her communicator buzzed with messages from Earth, support pouring in. Today, she hadn't just defended humanity, she had redefined it in the eyes of the galaxy. Eva stood outside the dimly lit council chamber, reviewing her notes once more. The weight of her task felt immense, but she was determined. Her last appearance had stirred the waters, and now she needed to navigate these tricky currents carefully. As she re-entered the chamber, she noticed the change in the air. Eyes that had once glared with skepticism now looked on with a hint of curiosity. She took her place, feeling a mixture of nerves and resolve. Delegates, when we last convened, I spoke of humanity's commitment to peace. Eva began, her voice stronger, more confident than before. Today, I want to go beyond mere words. I'm here to reveal a secret initiative that epitomizes our dedication, a mission that, until now, was classified even within my own government. Murmurs filled the chamber, the delegates leaning forward in their seats. For the past year, humans have been quietly mediating a potential conflict in the Viridia system. Eva continued. We facilitated talks between the warring factions on Viridia 3 and 4, planets that have seen nothing but strife for decades. Delegate Thalvoris stood, his voice carrying across the chamber. Why keep such a mission secret, Representative Santos? Are we to take this as subterfuge? Not subterfuge, delegate, but strategy. The sensitivity of these negotiations required discretion. Today, I bring you the fruits of that discretion. Eva tapped her device, and documents began to appear on the screens around the room. Reports, treaties, and communications between rival factions, all brokered by humans. These documents are proof of our efforts and our success. As of last week, leaders from both planets have agreed to a ceasefire. They are now discussing a permanent peace treaty, thanks to human mediation. The chamber buzzed with whispers and exclamations. Even Thalvoris seemed momentarily taken aback. But why bring this to us now? Questioned a delegate from the back. Eva met the delegate's gaze. Because it's time the Council sees what humans are capable of when given the chance. We seek not just to avoid war but to end it. To build lasting peace. A familiar voice rang out, softer this time. And what do you seek in return, Representative Santos? It was Thalvoris again, his tone less confrontational. Only understanding and partnership. We believe this council can benefit from human insight into conflict resolution. We don't want accolades. We want active participation in the galaxy's diplomatic efforts. President Xylos, who had been listening intently, finally spoke. This is a significant revelation, Representative Santos. It appears we may have underestimated human capabilities. Eva nodded. We ask only for a chance to prove our worth further, not just as mediators but as equals in this council. The discussions that followed were intense. Delegates debated, not about whether humans could be useful, but about how best to integrate their methods into council activities. As the session drew to a close, Eva felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. She had not only defended her species but had also proposed a new path forward for them in the galactic community. I hope today marks a new beginning, Eva said as the meeting adjourned. For the Council, for humanity, and for all species striving for peace. She stepped out of the chamber, her communicator buzzing incessantly. Messages of support and congratulations from her Earth colleagues poured in, but one message stood out. It was from her mentor, an old diplomat who had taught her the ropes. Well done, Eva. You've not only spoken for humanity, you've elevated us. As Eva walked through the halls of the council building, her steps were light, her head held high. She knew challenges lay ahead, but today she had turned the tide. Humanity was no longer an outsider looking in. They were a voice that mattered in the galaxy. And Eva Santos, once a junior diplomat underestimated by many, was now a key player in shaping the future of interstellar diplomacy. Eva strode back into the Galactic Council chamber, her pulse racing with anticipation and a newfound sense of duty. The reactions from the previous sessions had fortified her resolve, and now she was ready to deliver her most crucial address yet. As she approached the podium, the murmurs in the chamber tapered off, and all eyes focused on her. She cleared her throat, her voice resounding through the silence. Honorable delegates, we stand at a crossroads. The evidence I've presented shows that humanity can lead not just with words, but with deeds. Today, I propose that we, the members of this council, embrace a new strategy for conflict resolution, one that incorporates human methods of diplomacy and peace-building. Delegate Thalvoris rose, skepticism etched across his face. Representative Santos, while your previous revelations were indeed surprising, how can we be sure that these methods will be effective on a galactic scale? Eva met his gaze, her confidence unwavering. Because, Delegate, these methods have not only been effective in resolving human conflicts but have also succeeded in bringing lasting peace to parts of your own territories, as the ceasefire in the Viridia system demonstrates. A murmur of assent rippled through the chamber, some delegates nodding in agreement. Eva continued, what we propose is not to replace existing methods but to enhance them. To integrate human insights into the Council's protocols, to teach and learn from each other. President Xylos leaned forward, his voice thoughtful. And what exactly are you asking from us, Representative Santos? Permission to establish a joint task force, Eva replied, her voice steady and clear. This task force would be composed of representatives from all interested species. Its purpose would be to develop and refine these methods, to train diplomats from across the galaxy, and to intervene in conflicts where traditional approaches have failed. The idea seemed to take hold, as whispers of consideration flowed from one delegate to another. Eva seized the moment to strengthen her case. This is our chance to evolve, to ensure that the Council remains relevant and effective in a changing universe. We have seen too many conflicts drag on needlessly, causing untold suffering. With this task force, we could save countless lives. Delegate Thalvoris stood again, his tone less confrontational this time. If we were to agree, how would this task force operate? Who would lead it? Eva sensed the shift in his tone, an opening for a true dialogue. The task force would operate under the Council's jurisdiction but would be led jointly by a Council appointee and a human diplomat. It would report regularly to this chamber, ensuring transparency and accountability. The chamber buzzed with discussions, delegates exchanging views, their expressions ranging from cautious interest to outright enthusiasm. After several minutes, President Xylos called for order. It seems there is significant interest in Representative Santos' proposal. I suggest we put it to a vote. All in favor of establishing a joint Human Council task force for peacebuilding, signified by the usual means. One by one, the delegates cast their votes, the room filled with the soft chimes of approval. Eva watched, holding her breath as the tally grew. Finally, President Xylos announced, "The motion is passed. The task force will be established, and its formation will begin immediately. Representative Santos, humanity has shown its worth today." Eva's heart soared as applause filled the chamber. She had done more than defend her species. She had carved out a role for humanity in the galaxy's future. As the delegates approached to congratulate her, she felt a profound sense of accomplishment, but also the weight of the responsibility they had just been granted. As the chamber began to empty, Delegate Thalvoris approached her, his expression inscrutable. "Representative Santos, I admit, I was skeptical. But you've proven your point with grace and determination. I look forward to seeing what we can achieve together." Eva smiled, extending her hand. "Thank you, Delegate. I too am eager to see where this new path leads us." As she left the chamber, Eva's thoughts turned to the future. There was much to do, plans to be made, and a task force to assemble. but for the first time in a long while, she felt a hopeful excitement for what was to come. Humanity had not only earned a seat at the table, they were now leading the way toward a more peaceful universe. Eva entered the newly established headquarters of the Joint Human Council Task Force, her mind buzzing with the possibilities that lay ahead. Today was the first official meeting of the task force, and as she prepared to address the group, her nerves were palpable. This was her vision coming to life, and she was determined to set a strong, collaborative tone from the start. "Welcome, everyone," Eva began, addressing the diverse group of diplomats and military advisors gathered. "Today marks a pivotal moment not just for us here but for the entire galaxy. We've been granted a unique opportunity to reshape how conflicts are resolved across star systems, and I am honored to share this responsibility with all of you." She looked around the room, meeting the eyes of her new colleagues, some human, many alien, all selected for their expertise and open-mindedness. "Our first order of business," Eva continued, "is to establish our foundational principles. We are not here merely as representatives of our respective species but as mediators committed to peace and understanding. Each of us brings a unique perspective that, when combined, can lead to innovative and effective resolutions." The task force members nodded, their expressions serious but open. It was a good start, Eva thought, feeling the initial tension in the room begin to ease. "We will also be launching training programs," Eva said, shifting to the logistical aspects of their mission. "These programs will be designed not only to educate but to foster a deep understanding of the cultural and historical contexts that often underlie conflicts. It's crucial that when we intervene, we do so with both wisdom and respect." A murmur of approval went through the group. An older alien delegate from a warrior race known for their fierce independence spoke up, his voice gruff but intrigued. "I am pleased to see such emphasis on respect and understanding. Too often, these are overlooked in favor of expedient solutions." Eva smiled, appreciating the support. "Thank you, Delegate Korvax. Expediency can often lead to solutions that fail to last. Our goal is to build peace that endures, even if it requires more effort and time." She then introduced the next point on her agenda. "To aid in our mission, we'll be utilizing the latest in diplomatic technology, including AI-driven simulation environments that can help us model and understand potential outcomes before we commit to real-world interventions." A younger human delegate raised her hand, her expression eager. "Are we going to involve local leaders and populations in these simulations? It seems that would provide invaluable insights and build trust." "Absolutely," Eva responded. "Local involvement is critical. We plan to engage with all stakeholders in conflict zones, ensuring that our interventions are not only informed by their input but also supported by them." The discussion turned to the specifics of their first mission, a brewing dispute over resource rights in a distant star system. Eva listened, offered guidance, and took notes, but most importantly, she encouraged dialogue among the task force members. The ideas that surfaced were creative and varied, ranging from traditional diplomatic negotiations to innovative uses of non-aggressive technology to demonstrate goodwill. As the meeting drew to a close, Eva felt a profound sense of accomplishment. They had set a clear, ambitious course for the task force, and the team's enthusiasm was palpable. "I want to thank each of you for your contributions today," Eva said, her voice filled with genuine gratitude. "This task force is more than a team. It's a testament to what we can achieve when we work together. Let's continue to be bold, be creative, and above all, be committed to the peace we all strive to create." The delegates rose, clapping and exchanging optimistic glances. They approached Eva, shaking hands and expressing their eagerness to get started. As the room slowly emptied, Eva remained behind, taking a moment to soak in the reality of her achievement. Her communicator buzzed, and she glanced at the message. It was from President Xylos, congratulating her on a successful launch. Eva smiled, typing a quick thank you. She knew challenges awaited, and not all their efforts would be met with success. But today, they had laid the groundwork for something truly revolutionary. As she left the headquarters, Eva felt a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. She was part of something groundbreaking, something that could change the galaxy for the better. And with each step she took, Her resolve deepened. She would give everything she had to ensure the success of this endeavor. For humanity, for peace, and for a future where conflict was met not with fear but with hope and resolution.